What is going on, fellow retro gamers and fellow retro gamettes? We are here today to celebrate one of those days. One of those days that comes maybe once, if not twice, a year. And it is one of those days where it is great to be a retro gamer. And you might be wondering, Q, what's going on? Why is it one of those days that makes it so great to be a retro gamer? Well, as I mentioned, retro gamers and retro gamettes, that company that you may know and may love that makes exceptionally high quality hardware for your retro games and your retro needs, have just announced their latest foray into retro gaming. This time with the Analogue Pocket. As the name suggests, it is a handheld system that looks very akin to a very small Game Boy, or more specifically a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Pocket. And as you would expect, it houses not one, but two FPGAs inside it. Naturally, this means on a hardware level, it has entire compatibility for not only the Game Boy library, but the Game Boy Color library and the Game Boy Advance library. But it doesn't stop there, because while it does have native support for those three platforms, through a series of cartridge adapters which will be sold separately, it also has compatibility for the Sega Game Gear, the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and the Atari Lynx. But let's take a quick look at what you get with this overall unit and the details and features of it. As we've already covered, we have the compatibility of the Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, as well as the other three platforms through multiple adapters and whatnot. But it also has a very slick and sleek design. You'll notice one thing that's very, very prominent and very, very interesting to me at least anyway, is a 3.5-inch LTPS LCD with a resolution of 1600 by 1440. That works out at 615 pixels per inch. Now this is billed as a first-in-class high-quality screen. In fact, Analogue even went out and said as much as no gaming system has ever had as high-quality a screen as this. And of course, while we should all wait to get our hands on it and judge for ourselves and not fall for the marketing hype, it is a very real possibility. And since it's a portable handheld system, gone are the days of swapping out 2 or even 4 little AA batteries. That's right, because the Analogue Pocket has a rechargeable built-in lithium-ion battery, which of course is charged through USB-C on the device. It's got 4 general face buttons for gameplay, as well as 2 shoulder buttons and a few extra ones down in the corner, and naturally, hopefully, a high-quality D-pad. All buttons will be mappable. It also has stereo speakers, a micro SD card slot, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. But not only that, it also has included an original Game Boy Link cable port. Because naturally, if you have all the features for, let's say, Pokemon among other games, you may want to trade, you may want to battle, you may want to do whatever it is you can do over there. It also ships with a small digital audio workstation built inside called Nanoloop, which is basically a small little synthesizer so you can make old school style sounding music. And believe it or not, thanks to the likes of chiptunes and whatnot, that's actually a really, really big deal for many people. Now you may notice that earlier in the video I mentioned that this did have 2 FPGAs in it. Naturally, of course, one FPGA is used by Analogue and every individual game is coded for compatibility on one of their FPGA cores. But the second dedicated FPGA is for external developers, so pretty much anyone out there can develop and port their own cores, and they can do all of that with access to Analogue's proprietary hardware and their scalers. So, given what we've seen from modders and coders and everything out there, there's probably going to be some cool stuff coming from this. And just to pop one extra thing on top of it, I had always theorized that maybe, just maybe, eventually someday, Analogue would have made a system like this. But I always wondered if they would make it in a handheld variant or if it would just be a small little box that would connect to your TV. Think of it as a console variant for the same little multiple platforms. Well, it seems they have done partially both, because they've also announced a little accessory for it called the Analogue Dock. As you would expect, you dock in your Pocket into the dock and it can output through HDMI to a HD TV or a monitor or whatnot. It supports Bluetooth controllers, so many people out there will probably be using their little 8-bit DOE controllers. And it also has connections for wired USB controllers. Hopefully that works with any of them, because I've got tons of different controllers out there using regular USB ports that I would love to use on this. Now, we don't have a firm release date on this just yet. We have been told that the Pocket will be shipping in 2020 for $199. The Analogue dock has no availability just yet, and we have nothing on the price side of it. Also, it seems to just be available in two colours, horrible white or gorgeous black. Now, so what do I think of the Analogue Pocket? Well, I think it's fantastic. I know I will be all over this. It's something I've basically wanted for the longest of times, and I've kind of been predicting it for a while now. I guess they did just miss the anniversary of the Game Boy ever so slightly. But hey, the extra weight was worth it, I guess. My only potential issue with this will be the pricing of the dock. I'm expecting it to be maybe, I don't know, €80 or so. Hopefully at least it launches at the same time so they don't cripple everything on shipping. Analogue has been notoriously bad for their shipping costs. They're just completely exorbitant. And it's not even the best quality shipping you can get. You can get far, far better and quicker shipping for half the price. So I do think there's some sort of shadiness going on in there. Probably just to say they can keep it under 200. But anyway, that's it. I'm looking forward to hitting up the Analogue Pocket at some point in 2020. I have lots of games I'd love to test out on it. And not to mention the dock as well. Very, very curious about the screen. I'm really hopeful about it because, well, let's face it, gorgeous colours for the win. High resolution, sharp pixel art for the win. But that's me. How do you feel about the Analogue Pocket? Were you hoping they would eventually do something like this, or do you think this is completely worthless? Will you be picking one up, or is this an easy skip for you? Let me know all of that in the comments section below. Hit the appropriate button to let me know how I did on the video, and while you're at it, why not head on over and hit the subscribe button and even ring that little notification bell. Granted, getting a notification from YouTube in current year about a new video upload or live stream or whatever is a whole other story. But hey, at least you can say you tried, am I right? As always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.